maybe just a second until some more people arrive, I guess? Do we want to wait until...
Okay, thank you. Okay. Can we start?
Should we start or should we wait for some people to arrive? I think we can start. And so we are on time.
Okay, there are other people coming from the other panel. Just a few seconds and we can go. Maybe they don't want to lose your panel, so we're waiting for them. Yeah. Are you feeling? Perfect.
Tutto bene.
Tutto bene. Very good.
Nice.
Ooh, I had to run for my life.
Yeah, you didn't need to run. We would have waited for you.
Thank you. You're so kind.
We can't start without you, so.
Too kind, Athena, too kind. Okay, everybody's arriving. Ouch.
I heard that.
I just cracked my fingers. Ooh.
Don't do that.
I should not. Need water.
Luckily we will not need any graphics. So.
Parto io con tutto il discorso iniziale.
Fino ai puntini? Fino ai puntini?
Sì, sì, sì.
Sì, per essere sicuro.
Poi dopo magari ci alterniamo le cose.
Sì.
Okay. Guess we can start.
Yes.
Binarity.
Let's start.
So, everybody, welcome again in the main hall. This is Epona Fest 2025. I hope you're having a good time so far. And of course, Singleck and Binarity here. And we have a huge honor to introduce an amazing actress and voice actress who flew straight from Canada to Italy. And as you can see, she's here with us today. Athena Karkanis, welcome to Italy. Welcome to Epona Fest. So, I mean, the first question I want to ask you is, are you having a good time here? How is Italy so far?
Yes. Well, I think anybody who comes to Italy and doesn't like it is out of their minds. I don't think that's ever happened in history, that somebody visited Italy and didn't like it. So I'm having an amazing time. I've met so many wonderful, lovely people, so that's been really, really nice.
Happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Have you had the chance to maybe, because now we are in Cremona, but have you had the chance to visit maybe famous monuments around?
Well, not on this trip. I have been to Italy before. So far, I only arrived yesterday, so I wandered a bit around Cremona, which was beautiful. I don't know if you all have noticed that the whole town smells like flowers. Like you're walking along, and the scent of jasmine or neroli is wafting on the air. I'm this magical place. Is this real? Am I walking through a movie set? It feels it's very, very lovely. But I will visit some monuments later in my trip. I'm going to go to else that you want to do. Like, it's really hard. It's a hard profession, and even once you kind of get your break and you're working and it can still be really hard. I mean, I love it. It's also so rewarding and so wonderful. The highs are very high and the lows can be pretty low. So if there is something else that you also really like to do that. That's what I say first.
Very nice.
Second, if this is the thing that you really want to do, then you just have to put everything into it. And don't hold back, and don't try to change yourself, because if they don't want you, then they don't want it. So just be the youest you can be. That's a very Dr. Seuss kind of thing to say.
It's a very nice expression, be the youest you.
No one is better at being you than you. But yeah, that would be my advice. And specifically for voice acting, this is very practical advice that somebody gave me years ago when I wanted to break into cartoons and animation and stuff like that. They said, watch cartoons. So I know I'm preaching to the choir here because people love to watch My Little Pony, but if there are people it's a different as I said, my training was in Chekhov and Shakespeare. You don't perform Shakespeare the same way you perform My Little Pony. Although, as I say that, I don't know, it can be quite Shakespearean, like Opaline is this queen who had all this power and it was taken away and she's yearning to get back to it. So, the story can be quite Shakespearean, but I digress. So, so I would say that's practical advice is watch cartoons, see how other people are doing it, see what works, what doesn't.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I want to get ahead, and since you mentioned the recording with Miss Watson for the role of Misty, I was just wondering, since I'm personally a fan of the dynamic between the two, if there were just how it was between you two during the recording sessions, if you had something like to get into the characters.
Yeah, I mean, it was very playful. Like, it's always helpful as an actor to be working with someone who is a very good actor. They make you better. And so, and because Bahia is incredibly talented and she's a very good actor, it was so easy for me to just find Opaline, find the moments, find little bits of humor, and they were very, the production was very generous with us around ad-libbing and, sort of like improvising a little bit to whatever was funny, whatever was natural, whatever they really gave us a wide berth with that kind of stuff. So that was very nice. And with Bahia, it was easy, she's so good that it just makes it easy.
I see.
Nervous, and I was like, listen, I went in there, I was all apologetic. Listen, I'm so sorry, I don't know what they told you, but I'm just an actor, I can kind of sing, I can carry a tune, but like, I can't do this. Anyway, working with them, they just brought it out of me. It was amazing. I couldn't believe it. At the end of it, they were like, "What do you mean you're not a singer?" Like, and I walked out of there, and I was like, I don't know how I just did that. I called my husband, and I was like, I just did the most amazing thing. You should hear me sing. Apparently, I'm a pop star. I had no idea. Like, it was so fun, and it was so amazing to be able to do something that I never thought I would have been able to do.
You nailed it.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. And you know what? It was also Opaline. Like, I was able to leave Athena behind and be Opaline in that moment, who is this badass, all-powerful queen who, like, of course she can sing like a diva pop star.
Of course, why not?
There would be no other way. So it was, that was...
Imagine somebody in the pony universe tried to tell Opaline, you cannot sing. How would she react?
Yeah.
I mean...
She would sing that, yeah.
If she had magic.
Yeah.
Okay, so just a question that I'm always curious about: how someone get into the position. Like, did you made an application, or they contacted you, or how did that happen?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm just an actor, and this was like just an acting job that kind of came my way. So usually the way it happens is actors have agents, and casting will go to the agents and say, we'd like to hear...
Like a management?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the casting would be hired by production.
Okay.
And production would say, we need these characters. And usually casting will kind of know the people in the scene. I mean, these casting directors knew me quite well. And they'll go out to the agents and they'll say, oh, we'd love for Athena to read for this role of Opaline. I send in an audition. They like it. They invite me back to do a callback. So then then the producers would be on the call and they would, give you some direction, do it a little more this way, a little more that way. And if they like what they hear, then you get the gig. So, I mean, I make it sound so easy. It's not so easy. But
No,
I was very lucky in this case. I mean, I often say this. I'm sorry to those of you who have already heard me say this, but I often say that Opaline is probably the most fun that I've had on or off camera. I loved voicing this character. She was so she was so, I talked about earlier how she was Shakespearean, and also the way they wrote her was just very funny, and she's this total narcissist and like has these hissy fits when things don't go her way, and she's childish, and it was just like so much fun to play it.
It's amazing how you talk passionately about Opaline. That also means that the series authors had for sure described you this character in an incredible way, so you could perfectly become her during recording.
Well, it also evolves, like a character gets put out a certain way, and you kind of find it and make it your own, and she evolves. I mean, one of the funny things about one of the ways that Opaline evolved is that when we first, she ended up very British by the end of it, but when you listen to earlier episodes, she's actually quite mid-Atlantic. As we went on with the recording, I just got more and more British.
She read different books during the series.
Leaning more into the Shakespearean.
Yes, right? Yeah.
Okay. So, I think we can go with the Q&A part of
You
the
go?
panel. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
I'm going to walk around.
Turn it on.
So.
Machines are not
Okay.
machining.
Okay, no, it was not on.
Okay, good. Perfect.
Okay, it seems to work. So, who wants to go first for questions for Miss Athena? Where's the questions? You there? Oh.
Oh, careful.
No. Sorry. Need to go from the sides.
Oh.
No,
Let me go away from that speaker.
no, it's my
Okay.
Okay.
To the Ponyverse beforehand. After this is only my second con. I did one con in Seattle. Some of you I met there. And that's when I met some G4 people. But before that, and even at that con actually was such a learning experience for me because I had no idea. I didn't even really know about,
Don't worry.
I didn't even really know about the different generations or that there was like a bit of beef or, that the people preferred one over the other. I wasn't really aware of any of that. But I'm getting slowly educated the more cons I attend.
But do you feel some kind of animosity towards you as a G5 character? I mean, there are quite a few.
I have
G4
not
purity.
felt that, no. So the people who have animus toward me have kept their distance. Maybe they're afraid of my wrath. But no, I haven't felt that. Everyone's been really lovely. I mean, I know there's a preference. I get it. There's always, I was talking about this with somebody, but there's always, when there's like an original something, or even if it's not the original, because I guess G4 was the fourth generation, but, people love the first thing they fall in love with, and then when they see something else, it's always like, oh, it's not as good. So, we'll see. They're making a new Harry Potter series. I'm sure some of you are aware, and I wonder how the Potterheads are gonna take to the new casts and all the new changes.
Ooh.
Never liked the first one.
Oh, well, maybe you'll like the second one.
So, question over there.
Careful. Okay.
Yes, you want to read the other one.
Perfect.
So.
What was your reaction when you found out that Hasbro decided to scrap the rest of the animated series?
Yeah, I was gutted. It was a real bummer. They were kind of slowly picking away at it because they had first canceled now I can't remember what came first. The YouTube series was first canceled, and they had been talking about doing another feature with us, and there was like a video game and a podcast for a while. Like, it was just all this cool stuff, and it was so fun. And, as I said, I loved playing Opaline, so I couldn't get enough of it. And I remember it was very surprising because I think I found out on a Monday, and I was supposed to go in and record on Wednesday.
Oh.
And so they were still like booking us, and I had scripts, and they just like right in the middle of production.
It happened in an instant.
Yeah, and nobody ever really gave us a reason why. They were like, we love the cast, the ratings are good. So we were like, okay, then why are we not doing it anymore? Yeah. But my agent had a theory that it was something to do with merchandising, but I don't know. I mean, who knows? When these big decisions come down, I mean, usually it's something to do with money, so...
It came around right the time that the CEO of Hasbro has changed. That apparently the new one doesn't
Wasn't a
like the
brony.
focus on ponies as much.
Yeah, well, poo-poo on them.
Thank you.
When you record Opaline and when you flesh out the characters, how much do you interact with other people who also flesh out the characters, like writers, directors? Do you interact with people outside of the booth or not that much?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. There was always a director on the call and usually a couple of writers. So yeah, they were always like they were always kind of on Zoom. There would be like a big screen and I could see them up there. And it was organic, kind of like, you know, they would, as I was saying earlier, they were very open to ad-libbing and improvising. And so, you know, even on the spot, I would come up with ideas and they'd be like, oh yeah, that's good, do that more, or out of this, you know, it would make them come up with ideas. So it was a very kind of collaborative and organic process, which is another reason that I really loved this job. Yeah, it's really nice to just work with other creative minds in that way, you know, and it always brings out more.
Thank you. Anyone has some other questions? Here in front.
Perfect.
I remember that one thing that I really like when I'm auditioning for a character is to have, if they have artwork, like if, you know, so that because I often find that the voice comes to me by looking at the artwork that they've designed or like the concept or whatever. And Opaline, I remember clearly there was no artwork, and in fact it was well into production that they actually drew her and showed me what she looked like. And it was different before. She was much darker. I was surprised when they landed on this. But I think they thought that was like a little on the nose for her to be dark because she was, you know, dark.
Dark, evil.
Yeah. So they changed her, and I remember at one point our director telling me, "Yeah, we're almost done with the artwork, but we're worried that she's too beautiful." And I was like, "Oh, no such thing." But yeah, they didn't. You know, I think they gave me sort of like a broad shape of her, that she was wicked, that she was evil. I think they referenced Maleficent. I think Maleficent. But, you know, apart from that, it sort of comes with the scripts, with the actor. You kind of come together and you really make her what she is, like this very full, three-dimensional character.
Thank you. Here, behind and then up in front.
Mentioning seeing the art of your character, do you ever look up like the art that this fandom produces of her? Because there's a lot of it.
Yeah, so I didn't before the last con that I went to in Seattle because I had no idea, and somebody told me you should look up the fan art, and I was so blown away and impressed. And it's also just like so heartwarming that, you know, people feel so drawn to her, so moved by her that they want to make art, that they're inspired by her, that she's a muse.
He had a question, right?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. It was him.
No, don't worry. I didn't point at you. Don't worry.
Hello. I was going to say, we've heard you talk about Shakespearean stuff. Could we maybe hear Opaline do some Shakespeare?
Oh. This might be one of the highest moments.
Oh boy. Okay. Oh, going back to... Oh, you can't hear me if I do that.
Oh, for a muse of fire that would ascend the brightest heaven of invention.
That's all I remember.
That was incredible. Opaline Shakespeareana.
Kind of a bit of Italian escaping there.
Yeah.
So, another thing. Did you ever feel sorry for Misty, always screaming at her on a personal level, not as Opaline, but as you?
Personally, yes. Poor Misty. She got it so bad.
She didn't deserve that.
No, she didn't. Misty's such a, like, she was so well cast with Bahia. I mean, I'm like singing Bahia's praises all over the place, but she's so good. She has such a great voice. I love her voice. And her natural voice is pretty close to her Misty voice, so it's just like amazing for. But speaking of Chekhov, I actually saw Bahia in a production of Uncle Vanya, and she blew me away. So she also can do the classics. But yeah, I mean, it was really fun to be so mean to Misty, but I did feel bad for her. But I don't think there were any hard feelings.
Write it down.
I think Bahia was able to leave it in the room. I don't think she left crying ever.
Yeah. Just a fun fact before the next question. We were actually planning to have both you and Bahia at the same time.
Oh my god!
But unfortunately we couldn't make it.
Oh, next time.
So we can probably...
That would be awesome.
We'll organize next time.
Yeah,
so
for
you,
sure.
you two can interact. Do we have any other questions? Yes, we do.
Just one there and then one on the back.
So, when it comes to Opaline as a character, do you think that, so like in her backstory, I'm assuming there was like a misunderstanding about her not being liked by Celestia and Luna back in Skyros. Do you think that if she just like talked to them more and that bit changed, she would have changed more as a character and been completely different? Like if that didn't happen?
I mean, maybe, but I think it takes a certain kind of person or pony to want to talk things through. You know, I don't think that's in her wheelhouse. She's reactive. She's very emotional. And I feel like she just kind of would just jump on the first emotion and roll with that, and then has too much pride to walk it back and be like, oh, oops, maybe I overstepped. I think she's way too prideful for that. So, I don't know. I mean, maybe if there was a mediator, but I don't know if she could have managed that on her own.
Thank you.
Her getting into the character.
Yeah.
So
there was somebody at the back, I think.
But okay, then, there's
Maybe not anymore.
not there anymore.
Oh, got tired of waiting.
So while the people gathers new questions for you, I was completely like the first time I heard Opaline, like in me sitting in my room watching ponies, and first time Opaline appearing on screen, and I'm very curious, like the very first time you stepped in the studio to record her first line, you told me that she became more British while going on with the series. But like something we never see once the product is out, so once the episodes are out, are blooper reels.
Oh my god.
I am really curious to know, the very first time you tried to voice her, how many bloopers you had?
I mean, I don't remember, but surely there were many. You know, we all have them. Probably the reason that they were never released is because they're probably full of bad words.
No,
usually
of course.
when I mess up, the first thing I say is the F word or something. So I think they would probably keep that one.
Delete the file. Delete the file.
Delete, yeah.
Good. Does anyone have any question? Okay, good.
What's another G5 character that you would love to voice? Actually, it could be G4 as well. G4 and G5.
What song? Oh,
No, it's.
I don't know. That's a tough one. I mean, it would have to be like something that's like really big and belted.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Belted,
I
okay.
can't imagine her singing a lullaby, really.
Makes sense.
And to add to, you were saying that I had those 2 songs. So the person who asked about when they canceled it, I also had more songs that I was scheduled to record, which I was like, oh, I can't wait to go do that again now that it's not scary anymore and I just feel like a diva.
Our heart.
I know. So those songs will never be heard of Opaline's. Yeah. But.
Hope it is the last thing that dies. We hope, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can.
So you touched on it briefly just there. If you can say, do you know any more about Opaline that we never heard about? Like any things you were told ahead of time that didn't materialize, or?
I don't know if I can think of anything that didn't end up in the show. No, I wish I could make up something really saucy right now. But I'm still a bit jet lagged, so my brain's not working that well.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. We have 2.
Yep, 2.
Thank you. As a voice actor, are you allowed to change like certain aspects of the character you voice? So, for example, like certain lines they speak, or maybe their like personality.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely depends on the production. Most are pretty open to the actor having some input and, playing around a little bit, because what's the harm? If they don't like it, they just don't use it. Some productions can be very sticklery for like exactly what we wrote and nothing else. But most of the time they're pretty open to, people kind of experimenting a little and seeing what works and what doesn't. Yeah. Which is, I mean, that's why they brought us, like we're creative people, like we're not robots. So
You're artists.
So it makes sense, yeah, to let's collaborate a little, yeah. And this show was good about that.
And it seems like usually the.
Did you watch any of the G4?
I did watch a little bit just to get an idea of the tone. But I also that's kind of a double-edged sword for actors. Is that you sometimes want to sort of find the perfect balance between doing your research and getting a sense of tone and sort of getting an idea of where it needs to sit, but also you want your performance to be original and organic, and so you don't want to end up sort of like emulating what someone else did, because then it's just sort of like tired.
This is interesting.
Yeah,
I never thought
it's kind of
about
a fine. It's kind of a fine balance that you.
And a bit of a classic Con question. Do you have a favorite pony? Beyond Opaline, that is.
Beyond Opaline. I like Pinkie Pie.
Oh. She is liked by lots of people.
Yeah.
From one side to another.
What's that?
From one side of the
Yeah, exactly.
You know why?
chaos.
It's my introduction to Pinkie Pie was when my niece was little. She's now in university, but she loved Pinkie Pie, and we would play ponies together. I have this hilarious video of her in the bathtub with all her ponies lined up, and Pinkie Pie was her favorite. And it was just, they didn't live in the same place as me, so I didn't get to see her that often. And, I was a very doting auntie. And that was kind of my introduction to I guess I had My Little Ponies when I was a kid, but this kind of,
because
this kind of pony.
Ponies went through many generations.
Yes, exactly.
They accompanied many generations.
Yeah. So anyway, that was kind of my first intro, and then it just always makes me think of my niece as like a sweet little girl. Now she's like this tall, gorgeous woman, and I look up at her. How did she react when you actually voiced a character from My Little Pony? Well, then she was older, so it was less cool for her.
Okay, it's okay.
But I did. I voiced this show. Sorry, I didn't. She was over it. I did voice this show that it was called Wild Kratts, and it's like an animal show that she would call me every day after watching it. Be like, "Hi, Auntie Nini, we watched your show today," and then she would tell me everything she learned on it because it was very educational. Yeah, But she, unfortunately, did not remain a pony fan.
Oh, it's
She's
fine.
missing out.
It's okay.
I will tell her.
If anybody has some... Oh, there, look. Then we're arriving to you too, don't worry.
Hello. Thanks for coming. When you were auditioning for Opaline, did you use any reference points? And did these evolve as you kind of... as we...
Oh.
Damn it. Evolve as you got more into the character?
Yeah, so the reference point I mentioned earlier, the reference point that they gave me was Maleficent, which I actually hadn't seen the movie at that point. I just recently watched it. It's very good. But I watched a bunch of clips to get an idea, and I was like, okay, I get it. I get what this villain is. And went in with that, and it did evolve. I was talking earlier about how my accent evolved, which is kind of embarrassing, actually. It speaks to my inconsistency as an actor, but I was joking about how if you listen to or watch earlier episodes, she's got this very mid-Atlantic accent, and it kind of moved more and more toward like full-on British by the end of it. But it was just, I don't know, that just felt right for her. It felt like I just wanted to sink into, maybe it's more like the royal, I don't know what it was, but it just felt right. But yeah, I think always a character evolves as you get to understand them better, as you sort of find new things. I mean, and we're very open, and so we like really glom onto each other, and you kind of think like, well, I guess I'll never see this person again or whatever. I mean, not so much with Bahia because she lives in Toronto and so do I, but mostly I'm talking about when I shoot something somewhere else and everybody lives somewhere else and we all come together and make this thing together and get very close and then it's over and we think we'll never see each other again. But, you never know. Like, it's a small world. I have then come across people again being like, wow, like, here you are, so... But yeah, I would love to work with Bahia. I think she's so talented. I'm her biggest fan.
That's great and so sweet.
Okay.
Thank you so much, everyone, for coming out. It's so lovely to talk to you all, and your questions are all so thoughtful. And
thanks to you, Athena, for accepting the invite and coming here in Italy at Epona Fest 2025. Really, it was a huge honor. It is a huge honor, and we are not seeing you here just in this panel. There is something else coming.
Yes.
The last panel of today. Yes, which is gonna be fun.
Yeah, so be sure to be here at
4:30.
I have to check the con guide. Does everybody have the con guide? I don't. I have it right now. So yeah, it's going to be in a few hours.
Great.
So
thank you, everybody.
Be sure not to miss it.
We'll see you all then.
See you.